1 and 2. So you'll level across and you'll level front to back. We're going to use those edges as a guide to set the height as well. Okay? So let's have a look at the older turntable first. Baseball, please. I'm not doing it. You don't practice, you never learn. Learning by doing. Tell a man, he'll remember for a day. Show a man, he'll remember for a week. Yeah. Let him do it, he'll remember what it was like. Confucius. Sir, have you got like a little plastic cup or a little empty box? Whenever you're working, always put bits in a little box. All that ever happens is a screw rolls off the back of the table. You never want it. So on the top, we've got this is a Valhalla power supply. You can tell because of the switch. The switches get switch still working okay with you?
Yeah,
No problem?
it's working.
They get a little bit soft.
Yeah, but it's no sound of clicking.
No.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's working.
Sometimes if you put the blade of a knife here and just move it a little bit, it will move slightly quickly.
I see.
As long as it's working. So, plinth, top plate, power, inner platter, bearing housing. So this is pre-circus. And we know it's pre-circus for several reasons actually. One, the liner inside is white. The bolts holding it on. So this one's black, bigger bolts. The oil is black. The oil is clear. The new oil is black, but you want to really keep clear oil in a white bearing. You can try a black oil, but it might seize. It's a tiny risk. So these are a fine sewing machine type oil, 3-in-1 type oil. You don't need much. An empty bearing is about 20-25 drops of oil. So if you put that one in, can you see it takes much longer to go down? That one went down quickly.
Yeah.
This one goes down slowly. This one has tiny, tiny little holes drilled through the liner to let the air
Come
escape.
out.
Yeah. So with a new bearing, don't let go. Hold it until you feel the oil take the weight, and then let it go down. Older one, spin it, make a cup of tea. Put your outer plaster on. It's all you can do. Just got to be patient, but it will go down. It will go down. AC motor. The thing we call the belt guide. You notice on this turntable, it doesn't have one. Its purpose is lost, really. What its design originally was meant to do, so Ivan tells me. When you start an LP12, you're turning a lot of dead metal. So the motor will go straight to speed, but the platter will not. So if you look at the profile of a motor, you can see it has that shape. So it has a high gear, it has a low gear. The low gear allows the belt to drop down, pick up speed, and then the belt will rise to the midway position. The old argument used to be that as the belt drops, it would touch the belt guide, and it is static, it would be earth. But it's not really true. It's not really true. It's slightly true, not really true. When you set up an Linn LP12 motor, there are two positions that are correct. You can see you have a bolt that holds the motor. So the motor is supported on a metal plate underneath. And those slots are where the bolts go. So it's not a hole, it's a slot. So it means you can move it. The correct position is to have one bolt one way, one bolt pushed the other way. It doesn't matter whether it's that way or that way, but you set it to the extreme. That then sets the distance from the motor to the platter, the correct distance for that length of belt. 3 suspension legs, so that's the spring underneath. The plinth has a block of wood front and back. These bolts pass through the block of wood. There's a metal plate underneath, which we'll look at in a minute, and then there's a locking nut, and that what pulls the whole thing together. And then just to be safe, we add 2 little extra screws. Early decks don't have them, later decks do. It's just the risk we have is the metal plate is quite thin, it's about 1.5 mil. If you go, the question everyone says, how tight is tight? That's a good question, because there's tight, well, there's loose, there's tight, and then there's broken. What I see a lot of people do is go crazy tight on everything, and the difficulty you would then have is that all you would do is just pull that bolt down through the metal and bend it. So you need to go tight on an LP12. Tight, when I say tight, tight is, so that's loose, turn, 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 it stops, that's tight. Beyond that, all I'm going to do is just tear the wood. Same with any of the metal fixings again, till it stops, then that's it, that's all you need to do. As I've always said, it's not a bodybuilding exercise, it's a turntable. And there's only one state beyond tight, that's broken. This is your arm bolt. You can see the curve here in the top plate. This is a flat edge, and you can see the bend here. That's the bend we put on, so it sticks up, and then when you tighten down, that's what pushes it down onto 3 edges under compression. ITOC tone arm here, that's one of our best tone arms that we used to make. That was the previous version to the new one, the Ecos. This is where we learned that every arm until this, almost every arm until this, was just